Justin, welcome to 2020, where we present you with an award with my kitchen in the background. But you're the first three-time recipient of this award, and I've been accused through the years of keeping too many notebooks. But I went back and dug out a 2006 season notebook I had, and Darrent got his third interception at Arrowhead, or his third interception that season at Arrowhead in November. And I apparently asked him about it, and I have still here in this notebook, he said, if it's 3, it's me. So, and then I must have asked him, what's 4? And he said, 4 is more. So as the 3-time recipient, if it is 3, it is you. So, Darrent, I always try to go back and get a little memory like that every year when we do this, just because I think the connection to Darrent's important. It's the 7th time a defensive back has won in the 14 years we've given this award. I'd like to think it's a little sliver of the legacy in the room, that the position Darrent played. And I think back to the locker room then. That was the old locker room format then, but you had Dominique Foxworth in the room, Nick Ferguson in the room, Champ Bailey next to Darrent Williams. Next to the training room door was John Lynch. So, quite a room, quite a legacy. I actually called John this week because he was the first recipient of the Darrent Williams Award, and I just wanted to get his reaction to somebody winning it a third time. And you can see his whole quote in the release, but he congratulated you, called it a tremendous accomplishment. And what he said about Darrent was, Darrent certainly was everything this award represents: a guy who kept every day fun, who had a great smile, a great energy about him, a great energy about life. Some people take energy out of a building. Darrent brought it in with him every day, and it was a pleasure just to be around Darrent every day. I remember those times all the time. We lost Darrent way too early, but this award hopefully helps people remember him, and I know it was an honor for me as well. So, but John just wanted to talk a little bit about Darrent and the award, and he congratulated you, and again, we congratulate you for the third time on the Darrent Williams Award.
Yeah, thank you. I'll hold it up first. I know there's glares everywhere, sorry, but thank you so much. I know I said it in previous years, but I don't take this award for granted. I think, the very first time I won it, I was very aware of the award itself and Darrent Williams and kind of like, the legacy that he built here and has kind of left here, and obviously the tragic incident that happened. And I always took it upon myself after the first time winning that award to really educate myself on the impact that he's had in this community. And as I said, when the article came out for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, and I think it was Eric interviewed, Champ Bailey, Rod Smith, and Wesley Woodyard. I kind of responded and said, I'm just following the legacy that these guys have left behind. They laid out the blueprint and the foundation, and it's the same thing with Darrent. Anything that I'm doing here, it's not that I'm such a great person and that I'm doing this, that, or the other. I'm really just following the legacies that amazing people have left behind here, and Darrent is one of those amazing people. And I know I haven't had the pleasure of getting to know him or to call him a friend, but just looking up at all the previous things that he's done, and talking about the Boys and Girls Club and the Teen Center and things like that, it's just an honor to be mentioned in the same realm of a sentence, with him, and talking about doing the things that he did has impacted this community with. And so It's been a tremendous honor. Obviously, this is the third time, and for me, it's just like the first time. This is such a tremendous honor. I don't take this for granted at all. And, you know, it's definitely something very special that I hold near and dear, as I've said before. So I can't thank everyone enough for you know, this award and what it means. It really means a lot.
Hey guys, at this time we'll open up for questions. Go ahead, Mr. Stahl.
Justin, kind of along those same lines, well, congrats, first of all. Along those same lines, last week we saw the video of the kids from the Darrent Williams Teen Center at the Boys and Girls Club as part of presenting you the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. You've now won this 3 times. Are you connected to anyone else in your life that you've never met the way you're connected to Darrent Williams?
Honestly, I'd have to say no. You know, there was an award at Boston College that they handed out to every senior defensive back, and it's the Jay McGillis. It's not necessarily an award, but you're honored with wearing his jersey, which was number 31. And it's a tremendous honor to earn as a defensive back at Boston College. It's typically given to a senior, and there's kind of like a lineage of guys. Obviously, each year there's a new person, and so you know, there's kind of that background. But really, outside of that, this has been probably the most impactful of my life, of like not knowing someone and then like just really seeing the impact that they've left behind, and that you get to be fortunate enough and blessed enough to kind of walk through and see the type of impact that they've left. And so it's definitely something that's super special.
Next one, Troy.
Geez, Justin, leave this award for someone else at some point. 3 times. Congratulations, my man. We appreciate your professionalism with us, especially in a year like this, where you're accountable after games, particularly where it's, you know, we're not in there to grab you and talk to you. So appreciate it. You face Josh Allen this week. Mobile quarterback. He's, you know, I'm going to say he's winning MVP, but he's certainly in the conversation as top quarterback. What challenge does he bring, especially given the fact that he can run and is a legitimate threat on the ground?
Yeah, he brings a lot of challenges. I think to just, you know, the little bit of film that we've already been watching myself and looking at last year's game against, you know, the Bills, and just looking at like the most recent game against the Steelers and you know, games prior to that one. It's crazy to see, you know, they were good then. And it's crazy to see how much, you know, more they've improved, especially on the offensive side of the ball. It seems like, you know, Josh is a little bit more composed and comfortable and stepping up in the pocket, making accurate throws all across the field. Everyone knows he has the arm to do it. So not to mention, you know, the additional weapons that they got, you know, like with Diggs, and I mean, he's an elite receiver. And so all across the board, you know, we have our hands full, and you know, there's not going to be any poor me's, you know, this week from us. And I know there's going to be talk about, you know, guys being injured and guys being rotated in and playing with, you know, new guys and this, that, and the other. But no one's going to feel sorry for us. I mean, I mentioned it before, we played a game without a quarterback. So we're going to have to really lock in and focus on our attention to detail this week, especially being a short week as well, and really have to focus on all their threats all across the board and play a complete game on the defensive side of the ball. And especially, I know we harp on it every week, but takeaways. We got to get takeaways against an offense like this. So it's going to be important.
Next one, Arnie.
Hey, Justin, congratulations. I remember early in your career, you and I had a conversation at the Taste of the Broncos, and one night, and you were talking about how, you know, football players are just regular people, just regular guys. And I've seen you maintain that attitude as you've established yourself as one of the best players in the league. And so my question to you is, what is it that keeps you centered?
Oh, that's a great question. It's really my community. My wife, my mom, my dad, my 2 younger brothers. I have a group text with a bunch of guys from my hometown that just keep me centered. Guys that I met in college that I keep in touch with all the time. I have like weekly phone conversations, and there's nothing that I do like individually that sets me apart and kind of keeps me grounded. It's really just that support network of people that just call me, check up on me, asking how I'm doing, asking how my heart's doing, asking how I'm balancing this, that, and the other. Obviously, my faith is a huge part of who I am, and I have so many people that pour into me in that aspect. And so it's a consistently dying to myself and putting and just trying to put others first, and especially put God first in my life. And that's the biggest thing. And so it's really just my support group has been tremendous in helping me grow each year to stay kind of level-headed throughout the whole process of being in the NFL. So.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I'm a 2020. So many challenges for all of us, big and small, in so many different ways. Sometimes, I'm sitting in my den right now. Sometimes in 2020, I just kind of want to hide in here. You've been involved in the community well before 2020, but in what ways has 2020 inspired you or caused you to be more focused with what you want to do in the community, with your foundation, with your spouse, with your family, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's inspired me in a lot of ways, and I say that not to take away from all the hardships and difficult times that families and people have encountered throughout 2020, but it's for sure inspired me. I mean, just even looking at, you had mentioned my foundation, and one of the things that's inspiring is just looking at my first initiative, 31 for the holidays, and we just ended that up and just released a press release about that. It's inspiring because one of the cool statistics that we had was we had 32 different states donate to the initiative, which is unbelievable. Like, when I heard that stat, I was blown away, because this is a tough time for so many people, and to have the type of impact where you're impacting, 32 different states. Now, obviously, we expected a couple states like Colorado being one, Florida, where I'm from, Boston, or Massachusetts, where I spent some time, maybe a couple other places where there's some family and friends, but never would I have thought 32 states would have donated to the initiative and to want to be able to help make change. And that's all online. That has nothing, there's nothing that's, person to person about our first initiative, which is inspiring, because to make that type of impact over 2020 and what's going on, and knowing all the loss that a lot of people have taken, and still seeing the benefits of wanting to see people help in such difficult times is really inspiring for me. And so it's helped so much kind of refocus my lens on what's truly important. But that was a really good question.
Next one, Andrew Mason.
Hey, Justin, congratulations, man. Obviously, whatever will happen is going to happen, but given all that you've invested in your community work, you mentioned building on the work of guys like Darrent Williams, establishing that legacy, what would it mean to you, not just in football, but overall, if things work out and you can stay in Denver and continue all your work here for the long term?
Yeah, it would mean everything. I've had nothing but love for Colorado and Denver specifically, talking about the Broncos, because they took a chance, with me, 3rd round pick. I know I was the last pick of the 3rd round, and they took a shot. And then, then what happened in terms of, kind of earning my spot, and then being able to become a starter and kind of playing that out and sticking with me through the 3 or 4 years that that happened. It would mean everything to me. I've built so many great relationships here. I've built so many great relationships in the community. So many things that I care about here, and so I just think it's a no-brainer on my end that I love this place. I love being here. I love my teammates. I know it's been difficult times in terms of talking about the win column here, but I truly believe that there have been a lot of things that have been stacked against us in terms of injuries and guys missing time and not having a full roster and things like that. And I think we're just a couple pieces away from being right where everyone in Broncos country is used to seeing the Broncos at. And I've been a part of that, and I'd like to be a part of that, moving forward.
That's time for a few more. Next one, Zach.
Hey, Justin, thanks for talking with us and congratulations. Were you surprised how much Will Parks was able to play in the game last week? And what was it like having him on the field with you?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. It was actually crazy. I was just talking to him about it, and a little bit before the game. It was unfortunate to see what happened with Duke, but Will was preparing as if he was going to, be in there to start with. That was just the type of preparation that he was having. And like I said, it was unfortunate for Duke because Duke has worked his tail off all season long to get an opportunity like that. And so prayers to him for a speedy recovery and for Will, during the game, it was almost just like riding a bike again. It's really a testament to him and the study that he put into the film and back into the defense, because it's hard to go from one defensive scheme and learn all new types of language in that scheme, and then to come back to something you've been familiar with at least for a year. It's not like Will's played in this defense for 2 or 3 years and he could come back to it. It's really only a year, and there's a lot of stuff in our defense that's asked of you as a nickel, and so it's really hats off to him. And he asked a couple questions here and there throughout the game just as a refresher in his head, but for the most part, he was on top of everything, and I obviously showed in his play. He was confident, played fast, and already he's made an impact. It was day one he got in the locker room and obviously got to play in the game and made an immediate impact. So I was happy for him.
Is that me?
Yep, Jeff, go ahead.
All right. Oh, how ironic that we couldn't hear each other for this. It's good you're with us right now, Justin. And, this is in honor of the fact I did probably a 12-minute dissertation in an ESPN reporters meeting on mute. But we're going to present Seth with the Please Unmute Your Line Season on Zoom Award for coordinating all our Zoom calls this year from the PFWA. So we just a little something for Seth, and I'll try to unmute my line when necessary. But thanks again, Justin. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.